Hi folks, today we're going to use Autodesk Inventor for the first time. So Autodesk Inventor is a CAD, a computer-aided drawing program that allows you to basically draw anything that you like, and it talks to our 3D printer, which is quite nice. Our 3D printer that we have here at school can print anything up to 10 inches. So to start off something very basic, we're going to have you draw a shape and put your name in it, and hopefully see if we can get that 3D printed. So what this is earbud holders, and then I'm going to show you how to do a keychain. So when you first open up Autodesk Inventor, you're going to have the option of picking a drawing type. We're going to pick standard.ipt. This will allow you to draw a regular part in Inventor. So once you click that, you have all your two-dimensional tools and some graph paper. So you have the line tool, circle tool, arc, rectangle, and then maybe some ones that you've never used before, like a spline or an ellipse. An ellipse is basically a fancy word for an oval. So if you wanted to make a rectangle, you would simply pick the tool, and then anywhere on your graph paper, you could start by clicking one place and going somewhere else. You can do the same thing for circles. So maybe you do a circle a certain size, or any other shape. What's nice is you don't really have to worry about the measurements at first. Just sketch out your basic thing first, and then you can add dimensions. If you hover over a tool, it'll explain what that tool does. So a dimension is basically a measurement. When I click on that tool, I can click on something that I already drew, like a line, and the computer will tell me how big I made that line. If I wanted that line to be a different size, I would just simply click on it, say I want it to be 4 inches. If I type 4, and hit enter, you can see that my rectangle did get bigger. You can always click on the front view. It will zoom out for you. Or on your mouse itself, you can roll in or roll out. So I'm going to try to make this rectangle 4 by 1.5. I'm going to hit the escape key on my keyboard. It's going to get me out of that command. I'm going to redraw my circle. So if I highlight it, I can hit delete, and I can pick a different circle tool. So maybe I draw something a little bit bigger for here. So just something like that. When I finished my two-dimension sketch, I hit finish sketch, and this is what I've drawn so far. I can now extrude it. Extruding basically takes a two-dimensional shape and makes it into an object, makes it 3D. So when I click here, I have the option of extruding. It doesn't automatically pick it because I actually have two shapes here. So I'm just going to pick here, and I'm going to decide how thick I want my keychain to be. Make it that big. In the three-dimensional world, you could actually add some things to your drawing. If you hit fillet, it'll round the edges. So perhaps this will be good if you're using it for a keychain. It won't, poke you or stick you if it's in your pocket. You can do one side or both sides. So again, using this tool over here, I can navigate around and kind of get different views. If I would like to put my name on here, that's text is two-dimensional. It's not 3D. So I want to add a 2D sketch. So when I say 2D sketch, I need to say where I want to draw. So I want to draw right here. So I'm going to add a text box. Now this can be kind of tricky if you're not sure what size to make it. So I'm just going to make it this size. I'm going to type my name. I'm going to highlight my name. And I'm going to make it a font style that I like. I happen to like the Old English font. And I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to make it 0.75. That seems to be a good size. If I wanted to, I can, undo that and try it again. Or if you wanted to get a little crazy, you could always scale things. So if you scale something by clicking the base point in the center, you can make things bigger or smaller that way. So there's always a way to get something done. So I'm going to actually move this by clicking on it and hitting base point and just kind of scooching it over so it's kind of centered how I like. So now that I'm done with that sketch, I can finish my sketch. And if I hit extrude and pick my text, I can either add it on, so then when sometimes it doesn't work. So it's saying that this geometry is not going to work for me this time, which is unfortunate. So let me see if it works the other way. If I cut it into the object, still doesn't like it. So unfortunately, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go back and either scale it differently, or for my purposes here, I'm just going to undo and I'm going to redraw it with some plain text. So unfortunately we're using Autodesk Inventor 2010. So there's just a couple of quirks that happened, 8 years ago that they figured out since then, but in this version it's not the best. Autodesk Inventor is a program that you can download for free. So if you visit my Classroom Google site, it can show you how to do that. Since you are a student, you get the program for 3 years, I think, for free, which is a really nice way to learn some CAD. Let's scooch this over. See if that one works. So this is kind of plain text, and then hope for the best. There we go. So by extruding it goes outside, so I can use my orbit, and if that's something that I like, awesome, save it. If not, I can always undo, or I can actually edit the feature. So if I can edit the sketch or the feature is the extrusion part. So when I cut it in, that would be cool. However, this would not work in real life. Because obviously this can't float. So if I really wanted to 3D print this, I would have to not cut it all the way through. So I can cut it halfway in, and then that's kind of cool keychain. So once you get it to the way you like, you can always add more. You can't really ever be completely done. But make sure that you're saving all the time. To save, if you go up to iPro and Save As, if you're logged in, your student ID number will be here. That would be a great place to save it. I'm going to call it keychain so I know what it is. So then when I go back later, I'll be able to find it. So my best suggestion is just to play around, see what you can get to have happen. Again, with the new standard.ipt. You can draw anything that, it's really only limited to your own creativity. So if you want to draw with the spline and have something, wicked crazy like that, and hit extrude, and just play around, see what you can get, looking. You can always save, or you can just, delete it if it's not something that you like. So it's your first time in it. Don't get frustrated. Take your time, ask questions, and happy drawing.